So, Lost Belt 2 is coming out, and you know what that means. That means we're getting new servants, and the first one on the chopping block is a 5-star archer by the name of Napoleon. Now, Napoleon is quite good. You wouldn't really think so by looking at his NP gain and his star generation. It looks really average. His hits look kind of average as well, with 3 hits on his 1 quick card, 3 on his 2 arts cards, 1 on his 2 busters, and 5 on his extra. You know, it's like, maybe he doesn't look too spectacular or anything. But then we get to his skills, and his skills kind of paint him as this Gilgamesh-Ishtar hybrid, right? Where he kind of supports the team. Well, he supports way more than Gilgamesh, but he also want to time his buffs. Not as badly as Ishtar, but you do want to time his buffs, right? Skill 1 is a 20% party-wide attack buff that also further increases his own attack by 20% for 1 turn, meaning that Napoleon on the turn he procs his charisma as a 40% attack buff. Not as large as Ishtar's like 70% total attack buff, but still quite monstrous, especially since Napoleon can double dip with his second skill, which is a 20% party-wide NP damage buff for 1 turn that also gives everybody a cast skill critical star generation buff for 1 turn as well. That's 100% extra critical star generation, which means everyone is dropping mad stars whenever he pops this skill. It's also pretty nice because getting a 20% party-wide NP damage skill isn't super uncommon, but it's not the most common, if that makes sense, and it's really nice that Napoleon himself can make everybody double dip into 2 different damage buffs, and then they can use their own like mana burst or whatever to give themselves 3 buffs. Meaning that when Napoleon is on the team, not only is he going to hit really hard, but everyone else is going to be doing damage as well. Then we go into his third skill, which gives him a 30% battery. It lets him ignore invincibility for 3 turns, so basically you can't dodge his NP. He's going to obliterate whatever's in front of him. And then he also gets 10 stars every turn for 3 turns, and that's on a 6-turn cooldown. All of these skills are very good. You can use him for farming and he'll just chunk anything out of the way, right? But you can also kind of bring him from harder fights, right? At like a harder fight where there's multiple enemies, because he can gen a lot of stars. He'll make everybody hit really hard. He doesn't really have any survivability of his own, because his survivability is like, I kill the enemy before they kill me, and sometimes it doesn't work. But if you're doing like a speed run boss rush or something like that, he might actually be pretty good. His passives are okay, 15% debuff resistance and a 6% crit buff. I mean, it's a passive skill, what do you expect? Then finally there's his NP, which right now on NA is decent, right? It ignores defense, which furthers just like you can't dodge this NP at all. And it also does extra damage to divine enemies, which is pretty nice because there's a decent amount of divine enemies in the game, although you're predominantly going to be using this against divine berserkers or sabers, so people like Hercules basically. But after this NP gets upgraded, not only will it do 100% more damage, it'll gain the ability to drop 20% crit stars guaranteed every time he uses it. But after it's upgraded, he becomes like one of the most damaging AoE archers in the game. To put it into perspective, he outdamages Arjuna, Tesla, and Gilgamesh with all of their special mods activated, as long as he also has his special mod active. And I know you guys know how much damage Gilgamesh can do. Like, he's absolutely infamous for how he does single target damage with an AoE NP, and Napoleon can outdamage him. Like, that's absolutely crazy. So would I recommend summoning for Napoleon? If we didn't have Scotty coming out, then I definitely would say you should summon for Napoleon. Like, this is like an A tier unit. He's very, very solid. Now, if you want to summon for Napoleon because you want a really good archer, I would suggest waiting for the class banners to come out, the guaranteed SSRs that we're going to be getting in a few weeks when Anniversary starts. Summon on that, because Napoleon should be on the archer banner. And even if you don't get him, you have a shot at getting Gilgamesh or Tesla or Ishtar, just very good AoE archers. Or you might get stuck with Arjuna, and that's going to kind of suck. But if you really have to summon for Napoleon, because I know you're probably going to read the Singularity and you're going to love Napoleon because he's literally just a bro, right? Then I would really limit yourself to maybe using just tickets, or maybe just capping out at 1 multi. But he's very exceptional. But if you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. I have all my links down in the description. I'd appreciate if you guys would go peep those out. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys have yourselves a nice day. Peace late, guys.